Australia has abstained from voting at the UN General Assembly on a humanitarian truce, the first step towards a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, and here's why. On Saturday, the General Assembly voted overwhelmingly in favour of an immediate, durable and sustainable humanitarian truce in Gaza. The motion was passed with 120 countries in support, 14 countries against and 45 abstaining, including Australia. The resolution is not binding, but it applies significant political pressure, but effectively not from the Australian government. Australia's ambassador to the United Nations, James Larson, said at the Assembly meeting Australia would abstain because the motion was incomplete because it did not mention Hamas as the perpetrator of the initial attacks. He said the resolution did not recognise the terror group Hamas as the perpetrator of the 7th of October attack, and Australia again explicitly calls for the immediate and unconditional release of hostages. We can affirm Israel's right to defend itself while also saying the way it does so matters. The United States was one of the 14 nations that voted against the motion, citing similar reasons. US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said, "It is outrageous that this resolution fails to name the perpetrators of the October 7th terrorist attacks, Hamas." Canada proposed an amendment to the resolution seeking a condemnation of Hamas, which the US backed, but it didn't pass. Greens leader Adam Bandt said on Twitter our abstinence was unacceptable. He wrote, "Labor needs to work towards peace, not war in Gaza and the Middle East," while opposition leader Peter Dutton also criticised the government's decision to abstain, but argued Australia should have voted with the US against the motion. This comes after a lot of criticism has been levelled at the Australian government over its weak and muddled stance on the situation. Some Labor MPs have broken ranks in recent days to call Israel's bombardment of Gaza collective punishment, but neither the Prime Minister nor the Foreign Affairs Minister have used language anywhere near that strong. On Friday, Industrial Relations Minister Tony Burke was asked on ABC RN if he agreed with those labelling Israel's policies as apartheid on Palestinians, and he said, "It's not a description we use as a government, but I've been to the military courts in the West Bank, military courts where Palestinians are tried in the order of a 99% reported conviction rate. 2 children throw a stone at a member of the Israeli Defence Force. One is Jewish, one is Palestinian. The legal consequences of that identical action are different depending on their race. Now, people can reach their own conclusions on what word to apply to that, but that's how the law works there at the moment." According to the Gaza Health Ministry, an estimated 8,000 Palestinians, including at least 2,900 children, have been killed by Israeli airstrikes since October 7, and at least 1,400 Israelis were killed in Hamas's initial attacks.